It's a quick run through on entering stats into the website. On the administrative menu, there's a game administration. When you click on that item, it brings you to this screen. The screen allows you to enter the game events for the games that have been played. It is recommended that we don't add any game details until we have all of the player numbers for the two teams that have played. On this screen, you can see there's a drop list. The drop list lists the game number, the date and time of the game, and the two teams that played. We can see that at the far right, you see a 0, which means that there's been no game events recorded for this game. If we look at some of the past games, it's clear that there's been game events recorded for the Langevin game as well as the Respect RX game. So we can see that there's been 12 events recorded, 5 events recorded. In this case, we have 0 events recorded. As a stats keeper, when you drop this list, you won't see all of these other games. You will only see the games that have are past and the ones that don't have game events recorded against them. When you find the game that you're looking to add stats to, you can select it in this list and then go to Add Edit Game Events. And you go to Add Edit Game Events. Here, you're able to enter the game events by simply selecting from the drop lists. So in the case of if we were going to record a goal, we would select goal, we would select the period, we would select the time of the goal, and then we would select the players who were involved in the goal. So who scored the goal, who assisted, who was the second assist. In the case of a penalty, we would select the penalty from the list, and we would select the amount of time that person served their penalty, what period it happened in, and then the time of the penalty, as well as the player that caused the penalty. As we go down the list doing this, the system is actually tracking the number of times that I've selected goal. So if I select goal again, we can see that the number here has been updated to a 2. And it's back to a 1. So this is not something that's editable. This is going to be calculated based on the number of goal events that are in this list. Below that, we have the goalie. So it's possible for us to select or change who played in nets. So say Darren played, or Jacques Garet rather, played. It would be possible to pick Jacques Garet as the goalie. And then that way the goalies get their own stats based on shots on goal. So in this case, Charlie is the goalie for this team, and it's automatically selected for us. Shots on goal is how many shots were taken by this team, and we record that value here. We would do the same thing for the visiting team. Now, in this case, the visiting team, I know, doesn't have any player number assigned or jerseys assigned. So as a result, we shouldn't be entering any game stats for this team. Now, the game comments are something that are going to appear on the website. So if there was any kind of penalties or suspensions or any other notable items, they could be recorded here, and that information would be available on the website listed with the game. In the case of a team that has players added or has jersey numbers, and again, we shouldn't be on this screen unless both teams do, we get a list of the players who are on the team, and we can actually select from that list. So based on the game sheet, we should be able to go down the list and select who the players were who actually played in the game. And once we've done that, then we can say that we wish to save the game roster, and it gets recorded, and all of these players then get credit for their games. And that's used in the calculations of stats as far as, number of goals per game or number of points per game, number of penalty minutes per game. So once we've recorded that, save that game roster, then we would go down and do the same thing for selecting these players on the other team. There is an add home player and add visitor player link. Those should not be used. Based on how the systems or the leagues are set up, it's a draft. So there shouldn't be any walk-on players, so this should never be used. We should always be able to select from the players that are already listed on the team based on who was selected during the draft. That pretty much walks you through the whole system. Of course, you have to remember to click the record game events to have it recorded. And once we do that, we go back to the other screen, we should see the number of game events that were recorded against that game. Thanks for watching.